trash enclosures shall be provided. I think I'll dispense unless the board has any issues with this. Items 18 through 34, which are really, if the applicant agrees to those, I think those are real technical in nature.
We agree.
Number 35, just because I think it's an important issue, the aerators, those we would like to make sure that they're of adequate size, and that the applicant has agreed to work with us on the sizing of those.
Agreed.
The board,
As well as maintaining.
yeah.
Maintenance plan, I would assume.
Yeah. Number 36 and 37 are just really notes of there appears to be a need to take a lot of material out of the pond for the expansion of the pond. I suspect that if the berm is acceptable, there'll be a lot of material going over there, but we would like to see earthwork computations just so we can understand the truck motions and the amount of construction activity if the applicant agrees with that.
Agreed.
And then the last is just the outside agency. We note the fire chief, Salem Planning Board, Cumberland Salem Soil Conservation, Sewer Authority, Pensgrove, another company, water company, the TWA for the sanitary sewer extension, and the freshwater wetlands issue relative to a land use regulatory permit. And then just lastly, in our letter, we note that the applicant is subject to payment of all outstanding fees and any required contributions, recreation, code, etc. And should the application be granted, final approval, performance guarantees, inspection escrows would be required to be posted.
Just regarding Mr. Mitchell's final point in the letter, which he did not mention here, the applicant was kind enough to show on the site plan just a sketch of the future development they were contemplating. The final plan has to have that removed because we haven't approved any future development.
We thought it was appropriate, however, to disclose that there may be something happening.
It was very helpful for tonight's review, but for the plans that we signed, it can't be on the final plans.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I can only go through my letter point by point. There's only a couple of things that I just wanted to bring out. First of all, dealing with the use. The applicant provided testimony that the warehouse as a use is not permitted in the zone. However, the warehouse can run the gamut from from a very large building with a lot of trucks to something that we talked about tonight. So I think this is in my mind, this is a very specialized type of warehouse with a lot of specialized equipment for a very specific use as opposed to a generic warehouse. Just a couple of things I think in terms of putting a limitation on the use, with reference to 10 to 12, maximum 12 trucks a day. There was a reference to the fact that there would be no trucks kept on the property, which I think is important, especially with the residential uses next door. That it is for the exclusive use of Welshire Farms and not for general distribution. And that we've already gone through the elimination of the secondary loading. So I think those are four specifications on the use that I thought were I think important in terms of defining how the use would be limited on site. Beyond that, in terms of the rest of the more of the site type uses, we had a series of comments in our letter. I think the applicant has had a chance to review the letter. Yes. No reference to it. Under the planning comments, the only thing that I noted that hadn't already been addressed was a suggestion that as to whether or not the board would feel that sidewalks would be necessary, or a sidewalk would be necessary along Horses Landing Road along the property front. I don't know what your policy's been in the past. This is not a residential area, but we just raised it as a question. And I would defer to the board's judgment on that. This is there are two residences in front of the property. I don't know to what extent there's any foot traffic in that area that would benefit from a sidewalk, but it's just a question. And I guess maybe we should talk about that first before I move on. Just put that to bed.
I don't have this township's curb and gutter and sidewalk ordinance in front of me. Does that pertain to commercial also, or just residential?
Should be in the, yeah,
It would be the
should be in the
other
site plan ordinance. I don't have the site plan ordinance.
Maybe there might be something that has to be addressed.
Yeah.
We're going to have to have it checked. There is a sidewalk ordinance in town. I'm not sure if you're going to fall under that ordinance or not, so we have to check that.
But the township ordinance is more related to within a certain distance of schools and shopping centers.
There was a new one within the last 3 months, 4 months.
We have to agree to defer that to final, and that way we can all determine what it is.
That would be fine. And then I guess most of the comments that are remaining kind of do with landscaping and lighting. A lot of them we talked about already during the course of the meeting. I guess maybe the easiest way to deal with that is to ask if there's any comments on the landscaping and lighting that you had any concern about, or were they all things you thought you addressed?
No problem. Well, I think what we might want to do is have you meet with our people and come up with something that you agree on for the final. I know you made some proposals, and I think they're very reasonable.
Okay, then that's all I have. That's fine.
Just for the record, should the board consider an approval of the site plan tonight, preliminary site plan approval, for Mr. Carr's benefit, there are just some standard conditions which apply to all site plan approvals, particularly bonding, the inspection escrows, and the like. And I'm not going to recite all the standard conditions here tonight, but Mr. Carr, I'm sure you're very comfortable.
We're well aware of those, and we're comfortable with those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to open it up to the public. Anybody having comments or questions on this application, please step forward to the microphone, state your name and address, please.
And we will have to swear every person who's come, so, sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give tonight is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Would you give us your name and address, please?
Robert Berry, 915 Courses,
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last name.
915 Courses Landing Road.
Your last name?
Last name.
Perry, P-E-R-R-Y,
Thank you.
Carney's Point. Can I walk up to the picture? Is that all right?
Yep. Could you take the microphone, because we have to have you recorded? Thank you.
You gentlemen said you're going to put a berm around this area here, going up the road. Is this where you're talking about, this berm being?
Yes, sir.
This is my property right here. That's going to create my property into a catch basin for rain and whatever else is coming down. All the water on this property from Route 40 and Courses Landing Road, if you look at it, is downhill. So all this water here, and there's an old ditch in here that comes across, all runs right down to that corner.
That ditch is going to be interrupted, the one that comes across the property, and going to be channeled to the rear where the blue is.
Well, I just want you to understand that as of now, this is where that water collects. This berm is going to create my property into a catch basin. So if there's a torrential rainfall or anything, I'm going to have to worry about water coming into my house.